Okay, so this is the sheave that we're trying to get the halyard up through. Okay, so let's talk about the top of the mast, aka masthead. This is forward. So that's the forward direction, that's aft. At the top of the mast, and you can see in the video coming up, there's a connection for the backstay. There's a connection for the topping lift. Neither of these has any lines going down inside the mast. That's important. There are no lines inside the mast, only wires. So there's a wire for this running internally. There's a wire for that antenna running internally. But the problem I had was these sheaves, the pulleys, let's just call them pulleys, they're used to haul the sails up. So what you would do is generally, if it's this one, the head sail, you would take this and you tie a knot and you tie it around the top part of the sail, and then you pull like crazy here and you hoist the sail up. And that's what you do for the roller furler, and that's what you do for the staysail. That's what you do for the main. The main, it looks exactly the same, but on the other side. The problem I have is that these sheaves, these pulleys, are aluminum. They're mounted in an aluminum housing, which is not maintainable, and they don't rotate anymore. They are frozen in place and they will not move. The ones for the main on the starboard side appear to work just fine. So that's a problem. So I ran the new halyard through this gap, which was not easy to do. It's very difficult. You can't even stick your finger in this gap here. It's not big enough. But I managed to get the line passed through, but I did not like the idea of raising and lowering the sail on pulleys that don't work. So what I did was I took advantage of the fact that, okay, I'm going to erase a bit here. So I took advantage of the fact that there's a U-bolt here, and there's another one on the other side not being used, and there's a pulley hanging from it. So in sailor terms they call it a block, and that one has a halyard for the staysail. The staysail has an externally mounted pulley. The main and the head sail are mounted on internal pulleys, and that's really the design flaw. And so what I'm planning to do is go back up there one more time, because there's one more of these U-bolts on the front side of the mast, which I can bring another big block up and I can use it, and we can just abandon these two guys in place and never try to pass a halyard over them again. I think that's fundamentally a screwed up design, so that's certainly the direction I'm going to go, is with external pulleys. And it's rocked in place. This is the main halyard on its sheave. This is the backstay, how it's connected. That's my all-around white light, which does not work. This is a halyard for the staysail. That's the head stay. And there's a wind dealie at the top. I can't see up there, so I'm taking a picture. So the problem is these sheaves don't rotate. And there's one here and there's one over here. No way to access them. So it's kind of fucked up. Oh, for God's sakes. I saw stingrays a minute ago. You can see really well from the top here. Anyway, back to work. So this is the one that's rocked up. I don't know if this one can rotate. It's my VHF radio antenna. And oh boy, don't care for this at all. Yeah, downtown St. Pete behind me, huh? That's stuck. I can't get it out. We'll try that again in a minute. Okay, this is the as left situation. The line is now coming directly from the sheave, straight down, not rubbing against anything, through this dealie, and it's going to end up going horizontal to the top of the hockey puck. That's the top of the furler. That's my halyard for the dealie for the staysail. Not much up here. changed the light bulb. Hope that helps. I don't have any instrumentation for the wind delay, so I should have, if I brought a wrench, I'd have taken that off too. That's not critical. I do not know what this thing is. And I'm ready to come on down. I do not like the way he folded the damn cable. That's pretty shitty. But that's what you get for paying other people to climb the mast for you. Okay, we're going down. So I installed these two today. That is just a 2x4, soaked in water sealer, and then covered and wrapped in epoxy to the hull. Put a couple screws in from this stud into that 2x4, then covered this up with another, because there was a slice mark. That was my mistake. I cut into this a little bit, so I drilled the hole and poured epoxy down it. And now we're ready to put down the Sapelli hardwood. But first I want to paint underneath the bilge, because that's also where the valve got chopped out. There's a big square patch down there, and I want to paint that. So we'll get a little painting done real quick. Come on, baby. Half an inch to go. What do we have here? What do we have here? Cooking on my stove, finally. Yeah, this one's done. Yeah, we'll see. I'm thankful I'll not be cooking on the floor anymore. So a couple things good. First, I have the dinghy, and it fits, and this is the hydro vane shaft that is going to be the self-steering rig, although this needs to be reworked. We're not going to talk about that today because I'm still too pissed off about it. Really, that was just an absolute fucking goat rope, and it's still not right, so we're not going to talk about that. The dinghy, what's great is that the 2 horsepower motor that I had before that fell in the water that I cleaned up is just fine to push this dinghy around. I mean, I won't be going 30 knots, but you know, for idle speed, it'll chug around just fine. So I do not need to buy a new outboard. That is good. And the dinghy is much more stable. Can take a much greater payload than the previous dinghy. Another great thing is a wooden box. You see, you don't see wooden crates anymore, but I'm gonna soak the hell out of that with a water sealer today, and Ken gave that to me. He's a friend of mine here in the marina who's cleaning stuff out of his boat, and he gave me the wooden box and the milk crate. And some kind of box is critical for a dinghy like this because it's got an uneven bottom, so you need to put stuff. Maybe 2 boxes is what you need. You know, place to put an anchor and all the stuff you need on your dinghy. Raising a glass to the new boat. Who needs a name? We don't have a name for this new boat yet, so anybody has ideas, let me know. But it better fit with Tautog. May you take me far and safely. Okay, I'm just back from my epic shopping trip. I went and I got, I think, 11 or maybe it's 13 pieces here. Most of these are stainless steel, but these 2 guys I think are actually sterling silver. They're tarnishing like silver anyway, but I bought them anyway. This is to get me weaned away from plastic cookware because you're not supposed to put hot stuff in plastic. Some of them even have handles on the side, you know, that you can tie a string through and throw over the side of the boat to wash. I also bought 3 pair of pants. The tan pants in the bottom are very short, and so I know I'm going to be chopping those off at the knee anyhow. And then the other 2 are like new condition, and 2 new condition dress shirts, both of which will become work shirts for me. So total cost $75. Not bad. And one of the fill-in jobs that I've been working on slowly has been replacing the cabin table, going from that nasty old piece of laminated plywood to this nice piece of wood that I bought down in Mexico. And that should go on this week. Hey there, thank you for watching. And this video is right on the heels of the previous episode, and I'm not trying to double dip here or anything, but I had a lot of stuff done in the boatyard, but I've been busy since I got out. I was only in the yard for 2 days, and I'm trying to finish up loose ends on many of the projects that I've started, and I just want to finish some of them. You're never really done with boat work, but I'm trying to get my mind in a better spot as far as getting ready to make the next jump. And to that end, I've been practicing with my sextant. Okay, this is a new sextant for me. And to be honest, I've never owned a sextant before. In the Navy, we always used, official Navy sextants. And it takes a while to remember how to use it, to be honest, and how to do the sight reductions. It's coming back, but I'll need a little help. I got my hatwear ready, my headwear. This is from Daniel and Matilda from Denmark. This is my old sailor hat. Believe it or not, I still have it, just for sentimental purposes. And I'm having a great time. Okay, things are good. I've got some sailors from the boat next to me gave me these cruising guides to the northern and southern Bahamas, which is awesome. And my buddy Ken hooked me up with this cruising guides book. We talked about this before when I had a couple of, when I sailed into shitty conditions and I really shouldn't have been there. This Jimmy Cornell's book can help you avoid those pitfalls. It helps put you in the right spot, trying to go the right place at the right time of year. So I'm going to give that book a deep study as I study my celestial navigation. So the next couple of days I'll be cleaning up loose ends on projects and end all the sawdust producing work, and and I'm not going to start any new projects. And I'm going to be focusing on taking the boat out for another week or two. By the end of May, my plan is to be gone. I'm paid in the marina through May 31st, for one thing. So I'm paid to be here so I can stay and wait till the last minute and fill up my water tanks, my fuel tanks, and then go. But the overall plan is to leave St. Petersburg in a couple of weeks and head south for the Florida Keys and Cape Sable, the places I was going to go on the way up from Mexico, but I didn't make it because I lost all my sails. So going to spend most of June down in the Keys. Then when July hits, that for me turns on the hurricane season. I'll be running up the east coast of the U.S. Probably my first refuge point will be Jacksonville, because that's a pretty good statistical hurricane hole. I might pass by way of the Bahamas. It's possible. Depends how much it costs to enter, to be honest. And I just don't know. I'd like to go as far as Norfolk. I don't know that I want to go any further north just because it's so far. So if you look at Jimmy Cornell's book, I haven't checked yet, but I'm sure he's going to say that when you're making the run from the east coast of the U.S. down to the Caribbean, you don't do it in August, right? You don't do it in September because of the hurricanes. And you don't do it when those cold fronts are blowing by in the winter. So the window for going down to the Caribbean is going to be early October. For me, October 1, if there's no hurricanes in the forecast, I'm going. And we're going to head south and head for the Virgin Islands and Antigua and Anguilla, all those islands, and just slowly spend the winter in the northern part of the Caribbean and then head south after that for next season's hurricanes. Get south. So that's looking pretty far ahead. I don't like to plan that far ahead. The short-term plan, get out of this boatyard. This is a marina. I am out of the boatyard. Get out of the marina in about 7 to 10 days and head down the west coast of Florida, head into the Keys, and just gonna lazy sail my way around up the east coast. I'll pass by the St. Lucie area because I have friends who live there. I'd like to pay visit, and I've heard good things about St. Augustine and maybe go there. But Jacksonville is the primary target, should a storm appear. If there's no storms in the forecast, maybe keep on going. I don't know. So with that, the work is going to stop on the boat in another couple days, and it's going to be nothing but sailor prep stuff. That passage planning that I learned a lot from David down in Mexico. And I'm going to do a lot of preparation for any eventuality that might occur on the way up the east coast of the U.S. And that's where my mind is now, is getting out of here and being ready to do it. So all I've been doing now is working, but the work on the boat is going to stop. It'll have stopped without having done the DC electric system. Still not done. The water system is still not done. and the actual decks themselves. But other than that, almost all the things I wanted to do to the boat are getting done. So yeah, we'll see. So with that, cheers to everybody, and have a lovely day. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks.